It's one of those moments that will be talked about for years to come. On Friday, the 20th of June 2025, a law was passed in England and Wales that changes everything for people at the end of their lives. After a long and emotional debate, members of Parliament voted to legalise assisted dying for terminally ill adults. The vote was incredibly close, passing by a small majority of just 23 votes, which shows you just how divided people are on this. It was a free vote, meaning politicians could follow their own conscience rather than their party's instructions. This decision marks a massive shift in how we think about death and dying, putting personal choice at the centre of the conversation. This law is so important because it addresses a really difficult reality. For years, people with terminal illnesses who wanted to end their suffering had very few options. Some would travel to countries like Switzerland, but that's an expensive and lonely journey. Others might try to take matters into their own hands, which can be traumatic for them and their families. This new law aims to provide a more compassionate and regulated alternative right here at home. Supporters, like the campaign group Dignity in Dying, see it as a victory for kindness and personal freedom. It allows people facing an unbearable end to have some control over their final days, which is a powerful thing. The journey to get here has been a long one. A similar bill was voted down by a huge margin back in 2015, so this change shows a real shift in public and political opinion. The debate brought out strong feelings on both sides, with hundreds of people gathering outside Parliament to make their voices heard. For those who have campaigned for this change for decades, some of whom have watched loved ones suffer, this vote felt like a moment of profound relief. They believe it's not about encouraging death, but about offering a peaceful option when life is no longer bearable due to a terminal illness. Of course, this isn't just a simple change in the rules, it's a fundamental change in society's approach to life's end. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer supported the bill, but his own government was split, as was the opposition. This wasn't a party political issue, it was a deeply personal one for every MP in that room. The new law brings England and Wales in line with other places like Canada, Australia, and the Isle of Man, which have already gone down this path. It signals a move towards giving individuals more say over their own lives, right up to the very end, something that will shape conversations about care for generations. So, who exactly does this new law help? It's not for everyone. The rules are very specific to make sure it's only an option for those in the most serious situations. To be eligible for assisted dying, a person must be an adult, over 18, and be mentally sound enough to make their own decisions. This is a crucial point. They have to fully understand what they are asking for and the consequences of their choice. Most importantly, they must have been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and 2 doctors have to agree that they likely have 6 months or less to live. This isn't about long-term conditions or disabilities, it's strictly for people at the very end of their life. The process to get approval is designed to be thorough and careful, with several steps to go through. It all starts with the person themselves making a clear and voluntary request. This can't be something suggested by family or doctors. The wish has to come from the individual. After they make this request, 2 independent doctors must assess them. These doctors will check their medical diagnosis, their prognosis, and their mental capacity to ensure they are making an informed decision. They need to be absolutely sure that the person is not being pressured and that their decision is a lasting one. After the 2 doctors give their approval, the request goes to another level of review. This is where a special panel comes in. This panel is made up of different experts, a psychiatrist, a social worker, and a senior lawyer. Their job is to provide one final check on the whole process. They will look at all the evidence and make sure every single rule has been followed correctly. This panel was put in place instead of having a judge from the High Court approve each case, which some people felt would make the process too much like a court trial. The idea is to have a robust but compassionate system. Once the panel gives the final go-ahead, the person can then decide when they want to end their life. A very important part of the law is that the person must be able to take the life-ending medication themselves. This is called self-administration. A doctor or a family member cannot do it for them. This rule is there to make sure it is truly the person's own final act. The whole process is designed to be slow and deliberate, giving the person plenty of time to think about their choice and to change their mind at any point if they want to. When you're talking about something as serious as life and death, you need to have strong protections in place. The new assisted dying law is filled with safeguards to protect vulnerable people and prevent the system from being misused. One of the most important safeguards is the series of checks to make sure a person's request is truly their own. The doctors and the special panel are trained to look for any signs of coercion or pressure from family members, friends, or anyone else. They need to be completely satisfied that the decision is voluntary and well informed before anything can move forward. To stop people from making rushed decisions, the law includes a mandatory cooling-off period. This means that after a person makes their initial request, they have to wait for a set amount of time before they can proceed. This gives them a chance to reflect on their decision, talk more with their loved ones, and explore other options like palliative care. The law also makes it clear that they can change their mind at any time right up until the last moment with no questions asked. This focus on consent and the ability to withdraw is a cornerstone of the entire process, ensuring it's about choice, not pressure. A really big step taken with this new law is the creation of a new criminal offence. It will now be a crime to force or trick someone into choosing an assisted death. Anyone found guilty of this could face a life sentence in prison. This is a powerful deterrent designed to protect the most vulnerable members of society, like the elderly or those who might feel they are a burden on their families. The law tries to strike a delicate balance, offering a compassionate choice to those who are suffering, while also sending a clear message that exploiting someone's vulnerability will be punished very severely. It's also important to remember the people who work in healthcare. Not every doctor or nurse will feel comfortable being involved in this process, and the law respects that. It includes a conscientious objection clause. This means that any healthcare professional who has moral or ethical objections to assisted dying can choose not to participate. They won't be punished or disadvantaged in their career for opting out. This ensures that no one is forced to act against their own beliefs, which is a vital part of making a system like this work in a diverse society where people hold very different views on the issue. This law didn't pass without a fight. The debate around assisted dying touches on some of our deepest beliefs about life, death, and what it means to be compassionate. Supporters argue that it is the ultimate act of kindness. They say that for someone facing a painful and undignified death from a terminal illness, having the choice to end their suffering on their own terms is a basic human right. People like Dame Esther Rantzen, who have spoken publicly about their own terminal illnesses, have been powerful voices in this campaign, arguing for the right to a peaceful end. They see this law as a victory for personal autonomy and dignity. On the other side of the debate are people with very serious concerns. Many opponents, including disability rights advocates and religious groups, worry that this law could put vulnerable people at risk. They fear that some individuals might feel pressured to choose an assisted death, so they are not a financial or emotional burden on their families. There are also concerns that it could change the relationship between doctors and patients, turning doctors from healers into something else entirely. Opponents like the MP Danny Kruger argue that the focus should be on improving palliative care so that no one feels their only option is to end their life. So what happens next? Even though the law has been passed by the House of Commons, it's not in effect just yet. The bill now has to go to the House of Lords for more debate and checks. After that, it needs to be given royal assent by the King. The government then has up to 4 years to get everything ready. This involves setting up the special panels, creating detailed guidelines for doctors, and making sure the whole system is safe and ready to go. The law also includes a requirement for the government to review palliative care services within a year to make sure that end-of-life care is improved for everyone. This historic vote will change the landscape of end-of-life care in England and Wales forever. It reflects a society grappling with difficult questions and trying to find a more compassionate path forward. While the law provides a new choice for some, the debate has highlighted just how important good palliative care is for all. The hope is that this moment will lead not only to a safe system for assisted dying, but also to a renewed commitment to supporting everyone at the end of their life, ensuring they can live as well as possible, for as long as possible, with dignity and care.